Just saw Silent Night in the theaters. I'm gonna have to say it was actually a pretty good movie. They said it was the director of like John Wick or something like that. So I was expecting a lot of cool fight scenes and maybe like running the gauntlet a few times. So my expectations, like the fighting, was pretty high. I wouldn't say it exceeded my expectations, but it did meet my expectations a little bit, especially like the last 10 minutes. There wasn't nothing too crazy, like with the gun violence and, you know, people kicking ass and stuff like that, but or anything really new or absurd. I guess it was straight up like badassery the last like 10 minutes of the movie. Basically the beginning of the movie, it builds up a little bit, like the first couple minutes. It sort of goes back and forth in the timeline, you know, drawing you in and then bringing you back and drawing you back in. But the premise of the movie is the lead actor, his son, gets killed by a stray bullet from gang violence. He actually chases him down after his kid gets killed. Hurts a couple of them, but he ends up getting shot in the back and the throat. So he's in the hospital for a few months. He actually can't speak throughout the whole movie. So it's kind of different. So there's really not much talking throughout the whole movie, so don't expect a lot of dialogue. But I guess you really don't need it and you really don't miss it. At least I didn't in the theaters. Maybe at home you would, but in the theaters I definitely didn't miss the dialogue. So after he gets out of the hospital, he goes through that like depression phase, and his wife ends up leaving him, but he's on a mission to get back at the gang, and he does this surveillance and plots for Christmas to take them all out, because I guess that's when his son got killed. So it's kind of symbolic for that. I don't know, I just thought it was a good movie, and it kept me watching the whole time. Again, without the dialogue, you probably did have to pay attention a little bit more, but again, it draws you in that way. Trying to think. It just, like, expect the movie to like build you up a little bit and, you know, do your typical like a training montage type deal, but not really a Rocky type of thing. It's more, or even like a really hardcore fighter, just your basic build up, you know, how he gains muscle and learns how to drive better and fight a little bit. So I mean, it is pretty straightforward because you know what's going to happen. He did try to start a gang war a little bit, and 2 cops ended up getting hurt, or, well, actually killed because of it. He did try to save the one, but I don't know what really to say. But if you have some time over Christmas, I would say go see it. I enjoyed it. You're not going to expect a bunch of explosions or CGI, because that's not going to happen with this movie. And again, there's really not a ton of fight scenes per se, or anything that blows your mind. It's just cool to see how he brings the character out without any like real dialogue or talking, and it just portrays that whole revenge type style movie, which, I don't know, I just felt like it was a little bit different than a lot of other movies that have come out, like, that done the revenge type plot. I don't know why it was a little bit different. Maybe because I really wanted to see him succeed a little bit. Maybe that's why. It sort of plays on your emotions a little bit. He ends up dying in the end, spoiler alert, but he does get his revenge. And the one cop, it was in charge of like gang violence in Texas, wherever they were. I don't think I caught, or they really said where in Texas is supposedly based off of, but he really did his job going after all the gang violence and stuff like that. But the cop did help him in the end, saved his ass a little bit. Just something different. I guess that's why they call it Silent Night, because he couldn't speak the whole time, and it was like Christmas when he took his revenge. I was kind of wondering how that was going to play out. I thought it was going to be more of like a Christmassy killing type movie, like more Christmas themed, but it really wasn't. So don't expect that. Even though he has like a Christmas sweater in the previews, and they sort of hint that it's gonna be like a Christmas style revenge movie, but it really didn't feel like a seasonal Christmas type movie at all. So don't expect that. So if you're not into that type of things, you'll definitely be relieved that it's not about that. But I would go check it out. It's worth the whatever hour and 40 minutes to watch. You'd probably actually see it better in the theaters than you would at home on a TV, because I just think the bigger picture and like the surround sound helps bring out the story more than, you know, just sitting on a couch or, you know, recliner trying to pick the movie apart. So I mean, it is predictable, but it doesn't really get spoiled by the predictability. So I don't know, whatever. It's a good movie.